What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. My name is Hamid Trades, and I am the best trader in the world. My goal is to make everyone around me rich. So in today's video, we're going to go over the entire market. We're going to talk about exactly what's going to happen, what the next steps are for the SPY, the IWM, the NASDAQ, and the crypto market. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. And of course, let's just quickly go over today's recap. We made a few errors intraday, right? Very silly mistakes, or else today would have been absolutely perfect. But overall, this was a really nice green day. Lots of people made a lot of money, especially given the fact that the market was very roller coasterish today. We were on point with all of the directions, and we stayed on the right side of the market the entire day. So if you guys want access to this channel, if you guys want access to this community, make sure to click the link in the bio, send me a message on Discord. I'll give you guys access. It's completely for free. And there's no one else doing what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY. So we clearly came back and retested this trend line. All right. We didn't yet we didn't break above it. But this was a really, really good test. In hindsight, this could be like an amazing opportunity to go short. But given the strength, it's very difficult for me to hold anything really large, any position really, overnight. So this could, in the next few days, we could just be like, wow, it tapped perfectly on this trend line. It didn't break above it. But again, like when the market is not really giving a definitive direction, I'm waiting for a break back above 450.50, basically. I want us to reclaim this lower trend line here. And tomorrow, this level is going to be approximately 450.82. You can basically say like 457 to 451. We need to break above that. If we break above that, then we're going to be bullish again, in my opinion. But until then, this can just continue chopping around. So we have to just play everything touch and feel, really. Intraday, like a lot of things can happen. And it's good to stay nimble and stay on the right side of the trade. You can't have a complete bias towards any direction, because then you just give yourself up to a potential move to the upside. So for example, everyone that, even as the market was continuing to rise, everyone that remained bearish missed out on a lot of upside. So that's why it's very important to like have a unbiased approach to trading as much as possible. But at the moment, as long as we're trading below 450, that remains the line in the sand for bulls and bears. Anything above 450, basically 451, this trend line here, right? That anything below that is bearish, and then once we break above that, then we're bullish. So yeah, there's that really. I mean, you can take a look at the MACD. The MACD is falling lower. We had a green day. Again, I mean, just looking at these candles, just, in a vacuum, this is clearly a bullish close, right? It would, you can't really say this isn't a bullish close, right? But again, this is a very, very important level for us to break above. The RSI also barely moved upwards, which is a really good sign for the bulls, right? But again, when things look really bullish, no, but literally this is really it. 451-ish area needs to break above, and we're gonna play that to the upside tomorrow if we break above that. But yeah, that's really it for the SPY. Let's go ahead and take a look at the IWM. So now this is another issue. So the SPY had a really, really good close. We saw that it completely engulfed, and it was showing a lot of strength, whereas the IWM is still lagging, right? It's still showing a lot of weakness, which is a bad sign for the overall market for continuation to the upside. So we can see that the MACD is really falling very low. The RSI is barely falling lower, which is pretty bearish. Okay, so we couldn't hold 200, and really, this is just not a bullish setup, in my opinion. It's just really tough to hold either puts or calls overnight, given the strength in the SPY, but then the weakness in the IWM. It's tough to really hold anything overnight. That's why we're holding lotto calls. But until we get a clear, definitive move above 451 on the SPY, then we don't really have dignified I'm not sure if that's the right word, but we don't have clear-cut direction. So, really, that's that for the IWM. Let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ obviously doesn't look as bad as the IWM today. All of the large tech stocks basically have a green small candle, essentially, next to this candle here. So all of the large tech stocks basically look the same. The SPY filled the gap, right, and came back and retested major levels of resistance. The IWM is red, and the NASDAQ is more green than the IWM up here. All right, so clearly the SPY is leading the strength, okay? But now we need to see if the SPY can maintain its strength to see if the IWM and the NASDAQ can end up coming to fill the gaps as well. But that is a large task to ask because, again, the SPY needs to break above 451, and it needs to show a lot more strength than it currently is for the NASDAQ and the IWM to come and fill this gap as well. The gap that was left from the lows on April 5th. But really, that is, I mean, like a lot of the things that were going on right now, since the market is super choppy, is going on intraday, and they're happening on shorter time frames. These past few weeks over here, when I was just blatantly telling everyone to be bullish, well, it was much easier for me to just tell everyone, look, the strength is very, very strong right now. Do not try to short. Even over here, when we had a red day, I was like, don't short. Over here, when we had a red day, I said, don't short. Basically, the entire move up, I was telling everyone to just buy dips, not to short, not to fall for the weakness. But now we're getting into choppy zone. Like, we're getting into choppy mode. So, yeah, I mean, there's not really much else to talk about. Aside from the bonds really, really breaking down. The bonds are basically at huge, like, the bonds are really, really low. And at the moment, you know, we have to see, this is basically, we broke down below a major trend line already. And this is like really, really bad for the bonds. We need to see if this takes into account in the overall markets. At the moment, it's not really doing much. But aside from that, really, there's not much else to talk about. Let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto market. So the crypto market is basically holding support. Bitcoin, you can see it's holding 43,000 essentially, right? But this isn't the best setup. Obviously, there can, you know, we would have liked to see a much bigger green candle, but this is a start, right? 43,000 needs to hold. If not, then we're going to come back to this major demand zone over here, around 42 to 42,500. But yeah, I mean, we can take a look at the other altcoins as well. They're bouncing a bit as well. So Solana is showing a bit more strength. Ethereum is showing a bit more strength than Bitcoin. So let's see if that strength can continue, and then that, you know, the strength that were in the altcoins can then move into Bitcoin and then help the rest of the stock market. So yeah, that's really that. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you're interested in gaining access to the channel, the Discord server, click the link in the bio, in the comment section, do all that good stuff, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.